How's it going, guys? Today I got a deck profile for you, something that surprisingly isn't Heroes. This deck is kind of like a conglomerate of all these different kinds of machine archetypes, like Machina, Trains, Despots, Scraps, and also a lot more things. I'll try to explain all my choices as in-depth as possible, since people are generally more familiar with either pure Machina due to all the recent structure deck videos coming out, pure Auroradon Turbo, since some variants have been showing up in a few online tournaments, and also things like Infinite Attack Trains have been doing well at some recent regionals. This particular deck aims to combine the combos from the Auroradon build, while also having the utility that the Machina and Train engines can provide. I haven't really seen too many deck lists online for this particular kind of build, so I thought I might as well give it my own try and see how it does. This is also my IRL build of the deck, so there are definitely some more budget options for more expensive things. The main and extra deck are relatively cheap, maybe like around $100 or so for the main and extra deck. Definitely the most expensive card I have in here is the Needle Fiber, or as it's called now, Halki Fibrax. It's about like $25 right now, but for this particular kind of build where your aim is to do Auroradon combos, you absolutely need it. There are some combos where you don't need Halki Fibrax, but for this particular kind of build as a whole, you do kinda need it for almost every combo. I also refer to certain combos as either 1 tuner combos or 2 tuner combos. These refer to combos where you have access to 1 Despot 1 during your Auroradon combo, or 2 tuner combos refer to combos where you might have access to another combo, another tuner. Like maybe you have an extra Despot 1 lying around or an extra Just Synchron lying around that you can integrate into the combo. There's also a lot of cases where you can turn a 1 tuner combo into a 2 tuner combo if you're able to discard the extra Despot 1 or the Just Synchron through something like Revolving Switchyard, or if you're able to tutor out an extra Scrap Recycler summon somewhere inside the combo. I'll also be showing a lot of other choices you can play with the deck as well as some of my previous deck lists, and also some pretty basic combos you can do with the deck. It's kind of like the old Goki builds. There's a lot of ways to enter a combo and have it still end out pretty much the same way. I'm also just not even gonna attempt to say how to set up the deck, since I'm still relatively new to the deck. So something that I say may not be the most optimal thing. But after a few days of theory crafting this deck, this is what I came up with. Also, I haven't really been playing this game all too much recently, but I have more time now to do online classes to really think about this game. Starting it off, we have Nibiru. Obviously, it's a really good hand trap, and it is searchable mid-combo during the 1 tuner combo off of Galgranite. In terms of budget, 16 right now, you don't really need it, but it's really good for the 1 tuner combo. Alright, so next up we got Citadel. He came out in the new Machina structure deck. He is the deck's recurable boss monster, since if he's in your graveyard, and if a monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon him from your graveyard. So he's recurable. With the Scrap engine, he is also a combo extender. He also has the effects, worst quick effect, once per turn you can destroy a machine, and then first you target it for cost, and then destroy the machine monster as part of the effect, along with all other monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it. So you can destroy itself to blow up all monsters your opponent controls with 3,000 else attack. So really good for control. And if you equip them with Machina Gear Frame when it's equipped to a monster, you can destroy this card instead of the monster's equipped to being destroyed. So if you do that, you can keep your Citadel on field while blowing up your opponent's field. He's also searchable through pretty much every searcher in the deck, so you can access him super easily. He is a very good discard target for pretty much anything. You can also trigger Evolving Switchyard's effect to summon another thing from deck. And of course, it's also searchable through Switchyard's searching effect. So overall, it's a very good card. The only downsides of him is that he can't trigger off another Citadel being destroyed, and you can only recur him once per turn. That kind of sucks, but overall, it's a really good card. Next up, we got Crane. If you're familiar with Blue Mountain Butterspy, this is pretty much the Machina equivalent. When your Earth Machine is normal special summoned, you can special summon this from your hand, but you have its attack and defense. So it's an extender. It can chain block just like Blue Mountain Butterspy. So let's say you summon you Scrap Recycler, activate 6 Chain Link 1, you can then use Crane Chain Link 2, and then your opponent cannot ash your Scrap Recycler. And also, obviously searchable through Switchyard, and if you decide to play a rank 10, he has the extra effect where if he's detached from an XYZ monster, it can pop a card your opponent controls. So that's pretty good. Next up, we got a new card, Machina Metal Crunch. This thing will come out as an ultra rare Insurity code. If you control no face-up cards, you can only summon it without tribute, but half its attack. Then on normal or special summon, he's pretty much a Power Tool Dragon. You reveal 3 Earth Machines from deck, your opponent randomly picks 1 to add to your hand, and the rest is shuffled back in. Like Power Tool Dragon, you can show 3 copies of the same thing, so like 3 Crane or 3 Scrap Recycler, and you pretty much automatically get 1 to your hand. This thing also replaces old combo starters, like the Gear engine or the Infinite Track engine. This card is also pretty searchable through things like Megaform and Redeployment. It can also work by itself if you open more of a pure Machina hand. And of course with the extender, he goes into at least 1 tuner combos. He does have some downsides though as a combo starter. Even though he can easily go into 1 tuner combos, he needs an extender for that. And unlike the Infinite Track engine, you can only add things to hand and can't send things to the graveyard. You have to search out Scrap Recycler and somehow summon it afterwards if you want to send things to the graveyard. It's also level 9, so it's kinda awkward, but if you do play Pegasus, the train card, you can make rank 9 such as Calamities. In this particular build, if all you have to start play with is Metal Crunch and Switchyard, that doesn't really work in this build, since you need to be able to use the Switchyard to search out the Crane. Then you can't normal summon Metal Crunch since you control a card in the field. So you have to play Super Expressive Bullet Train for that particular kind of hand work. And Bullet Train is, I think, like 15 or so right now, due to a buyout. They're going down though, so eventually I'll pick them up, but for now, I had to play without it. The other downside is that outside of being able to special summon him later on, he's pretty dead after turn 1. The only way you're really going to trigger him is if you can get Megaform back out, special summon another copy of this deck. Overall though, very solid card. Next we got Megaform. He is Lone Fire Blossom. You can from field summon a Machina from hand or deck except another Megaform. And also, if a Machina Fortress you control is sent to your graveyard, so like destroyed by battle, destroyed by card effect, or even just use as like material, you can banish that Machina Fortress and grave to summon this card. So he's also, in addition to being the Lone Fire Blossom, he's also an extender if you have access to the Machina Fortress. So it just helps like climb with it. The main downside of this card though is that you can only use 1 of his effects per turn. That kinda sucks. But overall though, Megaform is definitely a much needed card in the deck, since it could summon either a Citadel from deck just to have access to him. It could summon a Metal Crunch from deck. and Metal Crunch does work on special summon. So it's pretty good for starting off combos. And there's also things like Irridator and Aerator you also have access to. And of course, Machina Fortress. Next card is Irridator. You can discard the Machina, special summon it from hand. And then, once per turn, you can target one machine monster you control for cost. And then special summon one Machina from your non-target, special summon one Machina with a different name and equal or lower level from the monster that you targeted. Special summon it, and then destroy the Machina you originally targeted. Opening Irridator and Mega Form is definitely best case scenario, since you can discard Mega Form and special summon Irridator. Irridator, special back Mega Form, destroy self Mega Form to tribute itself for Metal Crunch, but then search out Scrap Recycler, and that's an instant 1 or 2 tuner combo. Or it could also do things like Despot 3 for even more comboing. Both those combos end the same thing, but Despot 3 is definitely a lot more straightforward, while Scrap Recycler can, if you only want to do a 1-tuner combo, can end up in more advantage. The main downside for him is that he has to summon a Machina with an equal to or lower level than himself, so he can't summon Citadel or Metal Crunch from the graveyard with his own effect. If you do play something like Infinite Track Harvester, you can increase his level to 10, which is summon either one of them, but I don't play in this build. Next card is Machina Aerator. Like Irridator, you can discard another Machina, summon it from hand. His other effect, though, is a quick effect during your opponent's turn. Target a machine you control for cost, or summon a Machina from your deck with a different name and equal or lower level than the monster you targeted, and then destroy the monster you targeted. So pretty much Irridator, but except he summons from deck on your opponent's turn instead of summoning from graveyard during your own turn. He can easily be used as just another extender to get on field if you absolutely need one. Like if you need to make your Ancient Gear Link without a normal summon. He can also trigger Citadel with the pop effect. Irridator can also do that, I forgot to mention that. And he can help control the field during your opponent's turn with Citadel. The main downside, though, is that, like Irridator, you have to summon a lower level, and it has to have a different name. Next card, Machina Fortress, the original Machina card. He's level 7, so it's a little awkward for some things, good for different things. So like it's a really good level for synchros. Since all the tuners in the deck are level 1, you can easily make a level 8 synchro with this guy. He's also an extender, since he can recur himself from graveyards as many times as you want during your turn. All you have to do is discard machine monsters whose levels total 8 or more. If this thing is in your hand, you can discard itself as part of the cost. So if you have this card in a level 1 tuner engrave, you can discard this card in the level 1 tuner and summon this for free, since he can summon himself from either hand or graveyard. The level 7 is also decent if you decide to play any rank 7 such as Striker Sack for more extending for later on the combo. Good for Link Cloud Mega Form, really good discard target in general. And it's generally my preferred thing to summon off of Aerator, since it can help extend next turn. Next card, Scrap Golem. Only in here to help get more dumps off Scrap Recycler during the Scrap Wyvern combo. It does suck to draw, but it's not too bad to draw though, since you can discard it mid-combo and summon it back with your Scrap Wyvern during some combos, and during that kind of combo you'll also have a Platinum Gadget already in the field. So you just destroy the Platinum Gadget off of the Scrap Wyvern. The main thing I don't like about this card though is that it's a rock, so it's not really good for a lot of combos. And it being a rock kind of forces me to play Barricade Board Blocker for one particular combo that you'll guys see later. Overall though, very good card. It's definitely cuttable since it's like $10 right now, so it's not good for a budget. So you can get away with not playing it. However, if you do decide to play Squat Wyvern, you definitely need the card. Next card is Infinite Track Tunneler. Its main utility is that it's searchable through Ancient Gearbox since it has that 500 defense. You can tribute an Earth monster from hand, tribute an Earth machine from field summons from hand defense, but you will never use that. Its main utility is that you can banish it from graveyard, target 5 Earth machines, shuffle them back in the deck, and draw 2. So it's an Earth machine Pot of Avarice. Almost every monster on this deck is an Earth machine. And you can also recycle this through Cypher Mode or Mega. Only bad side is that it does suck to draw. Not as bad as drawing Ancient Gearbox, but it's still annoying to draw. And it can also only recycle Earth Machines, so it can't recycle things like Healthy Fibrax. Next card is Machina Gear Frame. Another one of the original Machinas. This normal summon can add any Machina card from deck to hand. If you have an Irridator or Megaform already in hand, this card helps make a 1-tuner combo, since it can tutor out, that particular combination card can tutor out Metal Crunch, make Platinum Gadget, and summon Scrap Recycler. It's also really solid if you open more of a pure Machina hand. It has a union effect to equip onto Citadel or anything else you want to protect. And it can even be special summoned off of Switchyard during your opponent's turn. The bad thing about this card though is that out of the normal summons in this deck, it's probably the worst normal summon unless you have that additional extender. Next card is Mecha Phantom Beast Coldwing. This is the free extender off of Auroradon. Since on special summon, you could summon 2 more tokens. Depending on which combo you're doing, you can either use it as a level 4 monster or a level 7 monster for Synchro or XYZ plays, since it gains 3 levels per token you control. So if you have 1 token, it's 7, if you have 2 tokens, it's 11, so you always want to get at least 1 token off the field before you use this for material for anything. This card is terrible to draw. But if you draw, it's not the end of the world. With a proper setup, you're able to do some sort of Auroradon combo and on a decent field if you have access to 2 tuners. And if you're really lucky, you're able to discard this mid combo and recycle it off of Machina Overdrive. So it's not the worst thing in the world to draw, but you do not want to draw it. Next is Ancient Gearbox, the card in this deck you want to draw the least. Its main purpose is that when you make the Ancient Gear Link monster, Ancient Gear Ballista, you can add this from deck to your hand. Then when this is added from deck or graveyard to hand except by drawing, you can add another Earth Machine with 500 attack or 500 defense from the deck, except in the copy of itself. So you can add something like Tunneler or either of the desk bots. This thing is very important since it turns any 2 special summon machines into at least a 1-tuner combo, or realistically a 2-tuner combo if you just add this bot 3, since hopefully you would save your normal summon. And there's even some times where, so during some Scrap Recycler combos, you either have to decide if you want to add Tunneler for recycling, or if you want to add a Despot 1 to turn into a 2-tuner combo. But if you're sometimes during things like that, if you can manage to make an Ancient Gear Link, you can do both of them. But just during very specific combos, it won't come up all too much. The downside of the card, once again, force on the deck to draw, you do not want to draw it. But it's not the end of the world since you can recycle it through either Overdrive or Tunneler since it's an Earth Machine. And also you have to pick between adding Tunneler or Despot 1 in a lot of combos. Next card is Scrap Recycler, one of the other normal summons in the deck. It is super flexible in what it can do. It can immediately make a 1-tuner combo just by dumping Jet Synchron. With an extender, it can choose between a 1-tuner combo or a 2-tuner combo. Depends on if you add Tunneler or just about one off of your ancient gearbox during that particular combo. What else does it do? It's probably the best card to summon off of Platinum gadgets during specific combos after you searched off Metal Crunch. In niche situations, it can recycle 2 level 4 machines to draw an extra card, but in this build, the only targets for it are the box and gear frame. That part came up a lot more often when playing a Gear engine, since at that point you already have Auger and Accelerator in your graveyard by the time you Platinum gadget. Overall though, Scrap Recycler are probably the best normal summon in the deck, especially if you have an extender. Deskbot 3 is probably the best normal summon of the deck if you have no other extenders. It by itself acts as a 2-tuner combo. Normal summon 1, make Halki Firebrax, summon another 1, make Auroradon, and you have your 2 Deskbot 1s right there. So super basic combo, super easy to do. The main he's also searchable off an Ancient Gearbox. The main downside is that if this thing's negated through something like Impermanent Surveiller, it's pretty much game over at that point. So you need a backup plan in situations like that. This card's Deskbot 1. It's the best mid-combo extender. He's the heart and soul of all of the Auroradon combos. This card plus 1-for-1. Well, any monster plus 1-for-1 is an instant 2-tuner combo. This monster is a 2-tuner combo. It's a very good discard, since it can be tutored out mid-combo and then discarded, such as Search Off Box, discard off Jet Synchron. It can also be a really big beat stick by itself. So, when you summon Auroradon, your 3 tokens and your 2 Deskbot 1s, the Auroradon is 21, the 2 Deskbot 1s are 35. That's over 8,000 damage on a clear field. The biggest downside of the card though is that if you just open Deskbot 1 and no other ways to extend, it doesn't do anything. You need the other monster, or a 1-for-1 Monster Reborn, or you just need to open up anything plus Deskbot 1 that isn't 4 more normal summons. Next is Jet Synchron. It's a 1-card, 1-tuner combo. Since you just normal summon, link it away, discard anything and bring it back, make your Needle Fiber, summon Deskbot 1, and that's your 1-tuner combo. In a lot of cases, in some cases, this will make Needle Fiber along with Scrap Recycler, or in some particular cases, it will help you make your Scrap Wyvern. Scrap Recycler will dump this thing in most combos in the deck. You can search it through things like tuning if you decide to play it, 1-for-1, Foolish Burial, Excel Synchron if you play it. It's also recyclable through Overdrive. Overall, if you need to summon a level 1 tuner, this is the best one too. It's not Earth, so that kinda sucks. Not really though. And it being once per turn really hurts during Excel Synchron plays, but it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. Next card is Turbo Booster. This thing honestly should not be in the deck. In reality, it should be Super Express Bullet Train, but this is a budget option, since this is only a few cents. It has a niche where it can make Link 1s, like the Link Haribo if you want to for some reason, but the biggest downfall of this card is that you have to use your normal summon to special summon it. So, if you just special summon something like an Irridator, you can't just special summon Turbo Booster to make your Ancient Gearling, search out Deskbot 3 and automatically go into a combo there. You have to already use your normal summon. So that's where Bullet Train is way better. This card though it's good enough. It's good enough. It's off the budget. Next up we have Sarvis. You search it during the 1-tuner combo off of the Arclight. If you already drew Colossus during a 2-tuner combo, you search this instead. It's just a really good anti-targeting hand trap against things like Effect Veiler and Impermanence. Not really much to say about this thing. It's just there if you need it. Next is Necroz of Colossus. It's part of the 2-tuner combo. Or the 1-tuner combo if you lost access to Cold Wing. It's a very good control card since you can just negate the effect of something that comes from the extra deck once per turn during your opponent's turn and makes the attack 0. So really good for control. It's searchable. It searches its own its own ritual spell, and then a ritual spell summons it from grave. Overall, really good control card. Going to the spell lineup, 1/1, guess you just spot 1, or you Jet Synchron. Terraforming, guess Woodyard. Foolish, dump just spot 1, Jet Synchron, Citadel, or any machine you need for Irridator like Megaform. Or also Machina Fortress is a decent target. Excuse me. Reborn, the best mid-combo extender, 2-card combo, Despot 1 or Jet Synchron. Machina Reformation, another new card from the structure deck. You can either discard anything, add 2 Machinas monsters with different names from deck to hand, or you can discard 1 Machina card, add any 2 Machina cards from deck to your hand, except this card. So you can add Overdrive off it. Really good combo starter since it searches off any Machinas you need. It also just more discard fodder. Really downside stats once per turn, but it doesn't matter too much. Necroz cycles next, added off Colossus. Choop you any Mecha Phantom Beast token, summon your Colossus from grave. Or if you have an extra Despot 3 or an extra Scrap Recycle in your hand during your 1-tuner combo, you can go this route into the Searching Sarvis, since you need to tribute levels exactly equaling 3 to use this thing with Colossus. The thing that just sucks to draw since you're search Colossus and have to go neg off the ritual summon. Next is Revolving Switchyard, which card might as well be in 1 condition for the deck. It's really good. It can search Citadel, it can search Derrickrane, it searches Bullet Train if you play it. It helps with discard foddering. It can tutor out things like Flying Pegasus, Ruffian Railcar, or Machina Gearprint during your opponent's turn if you're able to trigger Citadel. If you're summoning Pegasus off of it, it can then summon another thing back from graveyard for Citadel to pop. So it can summon back like a Derrickrane, so Citadel can pop that stuff itself. This card just does everything. It helps discard, it helps extend, and it helps with the control aspect. And then the last card of the main deck is Machina Overdrive. This card is really good. It's a trap though, so it's kind of slow, but this card is really good. You search it off of Reformation if you discard a Machina card. This thing pretty much triggers as acts like more copies of Aerator, where you can target a machine you control, but also summon a Machina with a different name from hand or deck, and then destroy the target monster. This thing doesn't have to destroy a Machina card, so you can trigger something like a used up Auroradon if you have an extra token lying around, or just any extra machine period lying around. And it doesn't matter what level you summon from the deck either, so it can immediately summon out Metal Crunch or Citadel or anything you really need. So it's just the trap version of a better Aerator. This thing, but where this card really shines is its graveyard effect. You can banish it from your grave. The target 3 of your machines are either banished or in your graveyard. Shuffle them back in the deck and draw 1. So we can help recycle Cold Wing. You're going to cycle Needle Fiber, Auroradon, use Jet Synchrons, banished Machina Fortress. Those are pretty much the 4 things you will recycle the most off of it. Or also Tunnel if you really want to. Or just as an emergency recycle for any Earth machines. So because of that graveyard effect, this is a really good discard target for anything. and you could also cycle it off of Omega. The cons of it, you can only use one of its effects per turn, and it's a trap, so unless you discard it, it's really slow. Then going to the extra deck. Striker, Berserker, and Omega, these are budget options. If you are playing this deck with an unlimited budget, you will be playing Warlord Savage Dragon and Cyber's Quantum Dragon. During the 2-tuner combo, you can easily make any level 8 synchro. Going first, you make Warlord Savage, or in my case, Striker Berserker. And going second, you would instead make Cyber's Quantum Dragon, or in my case, I can make either pretty easily. You also make a level 8 Synchron if you can Auroradon combo it without access to Cold Wing. In that case, you can make anything, but level 8 is important to have in combos where you can't access Cold Wing. Right now the prices of Warlord Savage and Cyber's Quantum are pretty steep. More really with Warlord Savage. Warlord Savage is like $68 right now. It's pretty insane. But it has potential to be in Mega 10, so that's always good. And then Cyber's Quantum is like $9. It's not that bad, but it might be out of reach for some people given the current situation. Striker Berserker is also like $9, so if you really want to, you can probably find a cheaper option, or just replace it altogether. Omega is really cheap though, since it just had a reprint in Dual Overload, and Omega is just really good in my opinion in this deck, since it helps with a little bit of hand control and can recycle Overdrive and Tunneler. Next up, Don Dragster. You will make level 7 synchro in almost every variation of the Auroradon combo. Only time you can't make it is if you don't have access to Cold Wing. Then just make a level 8 instead. But this is a really good turn 1 synchro to fight off things like evenly matched or Lightning Storm. You can also cycle it off Overdrive since it's a light machine. And if you decide to play something like Draco Stack, you can use it to summon it with. Maybe not the best option in the world, the Draco Stack, but Don Dragster in general is a really good card. Next up is Quandax. You summon it during the 2-tuner combo. This has an extra tuner to access to mid combo, since you use it with the level 1 tuner plus a token. What else? If you really want to, you can summon it off Needlefire during your opponent's turn for a synchro play. It's a machine to recycle off Overdrive, and with Overdrive's on-field effect, if you destroy Quandax, this thing can get Halky Firebrax back from the graveyard, so that's pretty cool interaction. Next is Herald of the Arclight. You summon it in every single Auroradon combo, regardless if you have access to Cold Wing or not. This thing can search Colossus or Saravis, depending on the situation. In the 2-tuner combo, you will tribute this off of Auroradon, and the 1-tuner combo, you will use it as XYZ material. And if you don't have access to Cold Wing, you will synchro with this. So you'll always be able to get out of the field if you want to. Or you can leave it on the field for a negate, or kind of like a pseudo macrocosmos against something like Warcust. Next is Granite. You only really access it during a 1-tuner combo, where you overlay a Cult Wing and Herald the Arclight search Nibiru. You can, if you don't play Nibiru, you can easily cut it for something like a Beastweller. But overall though, really good for the combo. Next up, Auroradon. It's the main combo card of the extra deck. It triggers Dust Spot 1, some Cold Wing deck by triggering 2 monsters. It can tribute 1 monster to pop a card in the field, so if you have an extra card lying around and just need to make an extra space, do that. You can tribute 3 monsters to add a trap from graveyard back to hand. You will only really be using that if you play things like Infinite Impermanence, since adding back Overdrive to hand deck isn't really the greatest thing in the world, but it's whatever. This card also allows you to change your extra deck in any way you want, depending on what kind of combos you want to do. So, like, you can change your extra deck and your main deck to be more character focused. play Berets, 3 Berets, 3 of the new level 9 Synchro, the Naturia Beast, the VFD. So this thing just really lets you choose your deck for any kind of combo you want to do. So this card provides a lot of flexibility. Downside though, also this thing can be recycled off Overdrive. The downside though is that you can't link the rest of the turn. It doesn't really hurt since you do your synchro plays, but sometimes you really want to link more. It also loses to things like Veiler, Impermanence, Ogre, Ash, Nibiru, and it needs machines to make, so you can't use Scrap Golem or Wyvern. It's also not an Earth, but it's not too big of a deal. Next, Cleave Genius. It needs 2 machines. This thing is mainly here to kind of answer Appaloosa and Negate's effects. Pretty good. It's not part of any combos. Next is Scrap Recycler. This thing's cool since Force Materials, you just use Scrap Recycler plus anything, so you can access this super easily in a variety of combos. It's pretty much just an extender in certain combos. It can help trigger Citadel, it can help get rid of Platinum Gadget, and it doesn't really matter if you draw Scrap Golem during the Metal Crunch combo. The downside though is that it's not a machine, so that really sucks for certain things, but you'll see that in the replays. Next up is Platinum Gadget. It's any 2 machines. It's a combo extender. You need it for Metal Crunch combos, as well as the old Gear combo. Summons a level 4 lower machine to his own opponents too. So Scrap Recycler that you search off Metal Crunch. You can recycle it off of Overdrive. If this thing is popped through Scrap Wyvern, you can summon a Silver or Gold Gadget from the deck, but that is very niche, since those 2 cards can only summon more of the Force from hand. And this deck, there's only Gear Frame, Colt Wing, and Box. And in some combos, if you have the extra extender, it's a really good backup plan if this thing isn't usually part of that combo. Downside though, it's not Earth, and it can't be used as like materials to turn summoned, so you just pop it with Wyvern instead. Next is Double-Headed Anger Knuckle. It's part of the Recycler plus Extender combo. It can recur itself by discarding 1. It can tag anything from your hand or field out into another level 10 machine, including itself. And it's an Earth machine. Downside though, you need 2 machines to make it. When it brings something back, it has to be in defense and with a negated effect. You can only use 1 of its effects per turn, and it cannot be used as like material. But you can kind of get around that by tagging yourself out for your Citadel. Next up is Ancient Gear Ballista. There it is. Just any 2 Earth machines, all link summon, add your box to hand, and add either Tunneler or Deskbot. This thing is part of the Recycler plus Extender combo. Or if you can make this without using normal summon, you can add Deskbot 3 to go into an easy 2-2 combo. This thing can also open up doors for more of an Ancient Gear focused hybrid, but things like Ancient Gear Fusion are super expensive, so nah, I'm good. Next we got Halki Fibrax. Part of almost every combo, you will almost always summon Deskbot 1 off it. You can summon Quandax or other tuner synchros during your opponent's turn. It's machine to cycle off of to be recycled off Overdrive. And in Metal Crunch combos, you don't really need this card. You can easily skip over it. But overall though, you need this card in the deck, there's no getting around it. For the downside, you need a turn to make it, so that does suck in some situations. And since this water is not as recyclable, you definitely want to recycle this guy. Next we got Barricade Board Blocker. Using this card for exactly 1 combo. Just Metal Crunch things. Only reason why I'm playing it is because he's a generic Machine Link 2. I would rather play Union Carrier, but that can't be used as like material turn summoned, and this can. This thing is also a discard outlet. And if you really need to, you can add Switch Yard from graveyard back to hand during the end phase. This thing is the only thing out right now that fits the criteria that I need it to, so it's the only reason why I'm playing it. Once again, I'd rather have Union Carrier, but this just works better. You will only be making this thing through Scrap Wyvern and Scrap Golem. You'll make it no other times. And finally, we got Link Karibo. Link 1. This thing lets normal summon Jet via 1 tuner combo instantly. And you can also recur it through just summoning another Jet Synchron, Despot 1, or Turbo Booster. The downside, it's not Earth or Machine. You won't play it every game. And you can really replace it with other Link ones like El Mirage or Relinquish Anima if you really want to. And oh man, we're 40 minutes in, and that's just the main. That's just the deck. Let's see. I'll just quickly show some extra options. There's a Gear Gear engine along with Gear Gear X. This is replaced by Miller Crunch now. There is the train stuff, which is Bullet Train, Flying Pegasus, and Roughing Railcart. Railcart you don't really need. This is the optimal extent, like probably the best extender the deck does have to offer. It's just expensive. Very good card though. Helps extending and helps during your opponent's turn during control things. Since if you can trigger Citadel on your opponent's turn with Switch Yard summons this thing will summon back Bullet Train. Citadel will destroy the Bullet Train. Then during the end phase, the Bullet Train will add back your Air Raider, which you probably bought for its own effect. There's also the Rank 10 package with Gustav Max, Superdora, and Juggernaut. All really good cards in their own rights. Next we have the Infinitrack stuff, which is the 3 Harvester. It's kind of like, I think it is outclassed by Metal Crunch as well. It's Brutal Dozer, Trencher, Anchor Drill, Heavy Hordes, and also the River Stormer. This thing, it can also manipulate levels, so it can help make your Raider summon back Citadel or Metal Crunch. It's also another really good thing to summon off of Platinum Gadget. Brutal Dozer can tribute an Earth Machine summoned from hand and summon another Infinitrack from your deck. But you are locked into Earth Machines for the rest of the turn. So you can't go into a Platinum Gadget or a Needle Fiber or Auroradon the turn you use this effect. There's Trencher. It can recur back on a level 5 Infinitrack from grave. There's Anchor Drill, which can also manipulate levels. And on summon, you summon an Earth Machine from hand or from hand in defense. So you can summon Citadel straight from hand. Things are expensive though. This thing, I think it's like 14ish or so right now. And this thing just got bought out. It's like 64. It's ridiculous. This Heavy Forward coming out in Eternity Code. Pretty much the 10 key for Infinitracks. It's also River Stormer for a rank 5. It pretty much has a better gear gain dex. Next we have the Driver engines. Just super simple, basic. Normal summon righty, summon lefty from deck. 1 card, 1 tuner, or non-combo. I was playing it up until Metal Crunch. Metal Crunch is just better in my opinion. We have Planet Pathfinder. You can tutor it out mid-combo off of something like Gear Green Extra River Stormer, summon it off Platinum Gadget, and tribute it to Edge Switch Yard. It is very good to consider playing a serious builds, but it's just a little awkward at times. O-Line, dump off of Trap Recycler for instant access to Wyvern. It's terrible to draw. Quick Draw Synchron, another Machine Tuner Extender, and a free discard outlets. Tuning, Search Output Draw, or Jet Synchron. Solar Wind Jammer, just another level 5 machine extender. Machina Possess Storage. This thing can do some cool things. So, on normal or special summon another Machina from graveyard in defense, but negates effects for the turn. This really gets a lot of synergy with Aerator, since Aerator slide on your opponent's turn. You can summon it off of Aerator when targeting Citadel. Bring back, summon it off Aerator when targeting Citadel, and summon back a big machine to pop with Citadel. Yeah. So pretty much just more synergy with Citadel's pop effect. It could bounce a Machina. You control to bounce a back row. Kind of situational. This thing is also searchable through gear frame and reformation. The downside though is that it's dark, so that's kind of weird. It also has 16 attack, so you cannot summon it off of Switchyard. So that needs to summon an Earth Machine with 18 attack. This thing's just better in a pure Machina build. But this thing does combo pretty well in pure Machina. Since if you have Gear Frame and either Irradiator or this card in hand, you normal summon Gear Frame, search what you're missing. Irradiator, discard, Possess Storage, Special Irradiator, pop itself, bring back, Possess Storage, bring back Irradiator. Gear Frame and Possess Storage makes Gear Gigant X, search whatever you need, and then Gear Gigant and Irradiator make your Platinum Gag to summon what you just added. So it does do some cool things, but it's way more of a pure Machina card. So something I forgot to add here is Orochi. It is just another machine you can dump off of Scrap Recycler. Good synergy with all the machine things. It's level 8 to make rank 8s with. It's dark, so that kind of sucks. And you also risk banishing important combo pieces like Cold Wing or Ancient Gearbox. And if you banish those, since they're face down, you can't recycle them off of Overdrive right away. You have to put them back in graveyard with Omega first. He also has some spot removal. He also synergizes well with IP Masquerena if you decide to play it, since you can summon on your opponent's turn. Also, since you can summon on your opponent's turn, it synergizes well with Citadel. Just somehow trigger Citadel, summon it back, summon Orochi, and just pop Orochi with Citadel. So something I forgot to put here is Lithosagum. And I do not know how to spell it. Wow, I can't spell. It synergizes well with the whole Earth theme of the deck. Since it destroys your own guys, it can trigger Citadel. And since it can remove 3 things from your opponent's extra deck, it can help you decide on what kind of board you want to end on, since you know what you're playing. It also makes calamities with Metal Crunch, with Pegasus. The biggest downside though is that it's not a machine, so it's very inconsistent to see, and to use effectively you have to neg yourself. That is not really what you want to do in this deck. Iron College is more Monster Reborn, but you need to have a machine on field to use it. Succession, another Monster Reborn-like extender, but you need a Link Arrow to use it. Instant Fusion plus Cybersaurus. This is another free level 5 machine for extender, so that's pretty good. Earn Schedule is a free combo starter going second, since it summons Despot 1 and something like Citadel for free. The downside though is that it's very expensive. It's like $30 right now. It's a quick play though, so that's kind of cool. Spot of Avarice. Just more cycling. It can get a little clunky though, but there's no restrictions on what you can recycle. Then there's more field spell stuff for easier access to Switchyard. set rotation, but you kind of need something like Oracle of Zephyra or Gateway to Chaos to use it. On this Metaverse, this tutor from deck, but it's the trap, so that kind of sucks. Oh, also these two cards cannot be ashed. This Mystic Mind for another visible option. Really good field spell, but it's kind of hard to get rid of if you don't have access to another switch yard. So you might be forced to wait before you can play the game. And then there's also Pop-Up. It's more of a side deck card. It's quick play. If your opponent has a field spell, you activate this, activate your own field spell from deck. So it's really good along with Mystic Mind for side deck stuff. And then there's a lot of extra deck options. The ones in the actual extra deck portion are the things I like more. The things down here, things I don't like as much, but still pretty good. Already went through those. Also already went through those, just the better options. These guys right here, part of an extended needle fiber package. Stealth Synchron can replace Quandex, but you need Quandex for certain combos, so it's whatever. Off of Needle Fiber, you can summon either of these two cards. But we think unless you draw a card. Shooting Razor, you'd want to dump Tunneler off it when you summon it to be level 2. Then you just synchro with either of these with a level 8 synchro that you use the effect with, some Satellite Warrior for more pops, more disruption. There's Ding, I think is the best rank 8 option for the deck. Just either a free non-targeting bounce, well, non-targeting Send to Grave, or you can attach a used up Jet Synchron or Tunnel's material to be able to use again. There's also Almirage and Relinquish Anima. This for more Link 1 options if you don't want to play Link Rainbow or if you have the extra slot open. The bad thing about Anima though is that it does not work with Royal Legacy Succession because this Link Arrow doesn't point to your fields. Other options, the Galaxy Eyes package. There's this guy who can tutor out any of these guys. There is Calamities. You need, to make him worth, you do need Middle Crunch, Pegasus, with Linko Saga or Anchor Drill. Since Anchor Drill can become a level 9 if you manipulate level to level 5 Infinite Track. Almost a very solid card though, for going first. Striker Sack you can make with Fortress and a Dawn Dragstore. It has 2 Fortress. More extending with Despot 1. Union Carrier, equip anything you need. Anything you need in Grave, you can immediately send to Grave by equipping to another monster and using that monster as material. Or just easily put a gear frame on Citadel. Bad side though, you can't use this thing as the material to turn summoned, so that kinda sucks. And then the rest of the options are Masquerena and other good generic Link monsters. I'm just gonna quickly show previous builds I had. This was the first build I had. Just ignore what's down here. And then I changed it to something like this. And then this, more of a level 1 focus, with increasing the Jet Synchron number along with adding in Iron Calls. Before finally landing on this build when I decided to mess around with Middle Crunch. Oh, that's the end of going through cards. I'm just gonna go into some combos. So those are all combos featuring this exact deck list, which once again is what I'm going to do for my more budgety version of a real life deck. It's definitely worth noting that those replays are in a solo mode with no disruptions, so they may not be accurate of real games, or maybe might not be accurate of real opening hands. This deck does have potential to brick bad, but it can generally play through some amount of bricks. And even if it does brick, it can usually function at least decently well, due to its ability to start combos with just one card, as well as being able to fall back onto the Machina engine, which does provide the deck a pretty good grind game. I also purposely made some of these combos suboptimal just to see what would happen with kind of a more basic hand. Anyway, now that we're over an hour into this video, please let me know if you like this kind of video. Tell me what kind of content you want to see in the future. I do have a lot more free time now with online classes, so it's time what you think, and thank you for watching.